Welcome to the Take Your Power Back show with Peak Performance Breakthrough Coach Kim Yeater. Today's empowering program will encourage you to step into your power, to take action in your leadership, and allow your voice to be heard. Listen in today as we speak to other freedom-loving Americans that are making a positive impact in the world by standing in truth amid adversity. Learn how to take your power back in your freedom, in your personal and professional life, in technology and creativity, and in your faith. Be inspired, be encouraged, be transformed. Together, let's take your power back with our host, Peak Performance Breakthrough Coach, Kim Yeater.
Well, hello, Patriots. Stand by. It looks like we are having all kinds of technical challenges right now to where my camera just decided to not show up after the back end was set up. We've got an amazing show for you today. So I want you to stick with us. I have a feeling that there are powers going against us right now. So we're going to declare in the name of Jesus that we cancel everything that has set itself up in the technical to take this down. We pray for all the pieces to come together easily and effortlessly in Jesus' name. And we are going to get this party started, even if you just see a little glimpse of me. So guys, I am going to bring in just a moment. We've got quite a show for you today. And for those Patriots just joining us, welcome. This is the Take Your Power Back show. I'm your host, Kim Yeater. Today's show is Shasta County, the Canary in the coal mine for California election integrity. We're live from the front lines of election integrity in America. Little old Shasta County, California. The epicenter of the Take Our California Back movement is once again sounding the national security alarm. Counterfeit mail-in ballots. Staff allegedly breaking into the ballot room. Evidence destruction, more ballots handed out than people, and a lockdown chain of custody that the DOJ and President Trump's team must secure before any further counting and recounting happens. If this is happening in Shasta, the model county we have been building with transparent cameras, public observation, and hand count readiness, then the same vulnerabilities exist in all 58 California counties. And let's take a look at America. I would say counties, states, cities, and America as well. Joining me right now are three warriors. And I must say, we have a surprise guest here. And this is not going to go the way I planned it. But sometimes God's plan is, not sometimes, all the time is so much better. So who we have with us today in the trenches? Shasta County Registrar of Voters Clerk Clint Curtis. We've got longtime leader in Shasta for election integrity, Patrick Jones. We've got Ron Plum, boots on the ground in Shasta, and a surprise visit from Tina Peters, our warrior, dear sister, and ran the race with us with our Take Our Election Back movement and was the inspiration behind it. So I am going to bring our guest into the room, do a little check-in and see where we're at. So let's get Clint Curtis in the room, Tina Peters in the room, and Ron Plum in the room. And I think Patrick Jones might be on the standby. Guys, let's just double check. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, I can hear you loud and clear, Tina Peters.
I can hear you.
Amazing. Okay, Ron Plum, fantastic. You can hear me. Clint Curtis, can you hear me?
Absolutely.
Okay, fantastic, beautiful. Now, we don't have Patrick Jones in the room yet, but I'm sure he'll be popping in. I see that he is on high-level security right now, that Shasta County ROV is being protected. My heart is so warmed by the three of you right now. absolute warriors for such a time as this. I want to give our audience just a little bit of background and context here. Clint Curtis, you are the Shasta County Register of Voters clerk, election integrity warrior. Clint, you are a battle-tested computer programmer, attorney, longtime whistleblower who was appointed by Shasta County Register of Voters in 2025. Clint, you were the one hired by the Bush administration in the early 2000s to write the code to flip the vote in the machines. Little did you know how they would use that, and you were that Congress whistleblower. The first man to publicly demonstrate how electronic voting machines could actually flip those votes. You spent over 2 decades fighting for transparent, verifiable elections. In Shasta, you installed wall-to-wall cameras, public observation rooms, taking that fence down, and live streamed ballot processing, turning a small Northern California county into the national model for election integrity. In our Take Our California Back movement, we said Shasta had the proven method. We brought governor, state candidates right there to Shasta to show them how to do this. We invited all 58 of our Register of Voters clerks, supervisors throughout the entire state of California to get their eyes on this proven method of election transparency, videoing every single ballot entering that tabulator, giving us, we the people, the power to count the vote in real time and to verify those ballots, at least from that visual perspective. Clint doesn't just talk about securing the vote, he does it. Patrick Jones, will introduce him later if Patrick shows up. I know he's on security right now. Ron Plum is a Shasta County resident. Love he and his wife, a veteran, longtime election integrity activist, closely tied to the local Register of Voters, Shasta, right there with Clint Curtis. He and his wife, Patty Plum, a former Shasta County elections commissioner, have spent years pressing for more transparency and oversight of county elections. Both worked as paid staff, helping administrator recent Shasta County elections, and have been strong public supporters of Registrar Clint Curtis. When Clint first moved to the area, he stayed at a property the Plums owned. I'll tell you, nothing like Shasta. I had the privilege of staying there as well. Ron frequently speaks at Board of Supervisors meeting, a stand for truth. He also serves as Shasta County Committee Chair for New California State and describes himself as a senator in that movement. He's a regular, outspoken presence in local election debates and a familiar face around the Shasta County ROV world. Now, Tina Peters. Holy cow, you guys. I wasn't sure when Tina would pop in, but I knew that she would be someone who would be popping in today. So such an absolute blessing. I want to give you a little bit of background on Tina Peters. Tina is the former clerk and recorder of Mesa County, Colorado, a mom, grandmother, and public servant who became one of the most recognizable voices in the election integrity movement. After Tina took steps to preserve voter system records in her county, her responsibility as a Mesa County clerk, receiving all kinds of opposition with the Secretary of State, she was wrongly persecuted, convicted, and sentenced to prison. She served her time, was released earlier this year, received a pardon from President Trump, and has never stopped standing up for what she believes is needed to restore trust in our elections. Just recently, Shasta County, California, our Register of Voters clerk, Clint Curtis, here with us right now, offered her a role in helping with elections as assistant registrar or consultant, with work expected to begin around September 4th if she accepts. We'll hear from her today. Tina is considering that offer, so please give a warm welcome to our warriors in the room right now, guys. I am so honored to be with you today, and forgive me that you can't see me. You see a little picture of me, but couldn't tell you what the breakdown was there. Tina, welcome. Clint, welcome. Ron, welcome.
Thank you, Kim.
Glad to be here.
It's good to see everybody. Hey, Clint. Hey, Ron.
Hi.
So good. All right, Clint, we're going to start with you right now, and then we're going to pull, Ron and Tina into this conversation. Now, Patrick Jones, who has been a former Shasta County supervisor, is on security right now. He may be popping in for a couple minutes. So if he does, we'll say hello to him and get a quick lowdown. So Clint, I want you to start us off. You've secured the June 2026 primary ballots under lock and key. Padlock on, key destroyed. That baby cannot be opened unless the DOJ, somebody comes in there with a bolt cutter, and God willing, it is President Trump's team, it is the DOJ. Tell the audience exactly what you and your team observed that raised national security concerns, the feel and look of the ballot, the chain of custody breaks, and why these must stay protected until the DOJ and Trump's verification team collect them.
Well, as you said before, we had put cameras over everything because, with machines, you can't really trust them. So basically, we show every ballot before it ever touches the machine. And while it's better to get rid of them altogether, this at least neuters them initially. While you're doing that, you're also feeling the ballots. And so while that was occurring, I kept having the people who were doing the flipping call me over and say, these ballots don't look right. They don't feel right. Something is wrong here. They're thicker than the other ballots. Some of them look like they've been printed on rather than actually filled in by hand. I probably let Ron get more in depth onto that. Oh, you're back on the screen.
Hallelujah.
Welcome.
Thank you, Jesus.
And so I told him, well, we don't really have any code that allows me to stop and do anything about it, right? No way to check them, no way to sequester them, nothing. So just keep going and we'll take care of it later. And so that's what we did. We went through them, we did the counts, we let them box them up. We had the old crew actually working there, and they'd never really been on board, so they kind of sabotaged us along the way. But they boxed them all up, and then they put them in this room, and then I didn't tell them what was going on. And then we secured the room and called the feds so that the feds can come in, check those ballots, find the counterfeits. And it's not going to be a hard look. Some of them you can do blindfolded because they're vastly different. The paper is rougher, it's thicker. At the time we were doing it, even smelled different. It had kind of an inky smell, whereas the other ones did not. So it should be an easy task for them. And the important part is that if we can show that they're in Shasta County, then they're probably everywhere. And if we have DHS or someone come in, they may be able to find if there's some sort of a foreign issue as well. And if that's true, I think that will give the president what he needs to basically eliminate this whole everybody and their dog mails in a ballot, because you simply can't trust them. Because these came through the normal channel, the normal mail-in Dropbox channel. All the ones that came in on election day, none of those actually had that kind of a problem. Everything was normal. And in fact, in the previous election, none of them had this problem. So this is a problem basically just to associate with this particular federal election. So it's something we need to get done, and we need to get those ballots grabbed quickly before the building burns down or whatever else happens.
Yeah, and let's talk about that for a second. And Tina, I'm not sure if you've heard this, but Antifa has threatened to burn that building down. They've also had graffiti set on that building, which was in opposition to you being there, Tina. And we're going to cancel all of that right now. God is going to prepare the way. We'll have that conversation if that's even a possibility of you being there, which would be amazing. So, Tina, are you surprised? Are you surprised by what you're seeing in Shasta right now?
No. The closer you get to the target, the more the heavier the fire. And Clint, I know you guys know that. That when you're over the target, you're going to get the heaviest fire. And so that's what's happening with Clint right now. That's what's happening with our government right now. I've been in DC 6 times now and discussed these things. And they are working. They really are. I mean, and I would say to the people that are the armchair quarterbacks that are sitting back going, well, President Trump should do this and so should do that. And, what are you doing? And so I'm calling people right now to call Washington, to make their voice known. Right now, we need to get rid of the electronic voting systems in any way, shape, or form, and the mail-in ballots. Clint is a great example of why we shouldn't have mail-in ballots. As long as we have and there's a video, I may have sent it to you, Kim. If not, I will, with Mark Wayne Mullen saying that, our infrastructure, our election infrastructure it's not if it will be, or it may be, it is being infiltrated by foreign actors. And so right now is the time for the administration to act. I know they're working on it. I know that President Trump just switched Ed Martin from his prior job of being the pardon czar, which I'm very grateful for. He was very much behind me and getting my presidential pardon and others, and has switched him to being his private attorney on the outside. There's information that, I'm in communication with him about, with Howard Lutnick about, with the DOJ,
Yes.
and, the AG's office, because we can't allow them to, when I say them, we can't allow the administration or anyone else, the public, the media, to say, well, we're too close to the election. Remember, Biden's laptop was too close to the election too.
That's right.
That didn't come out until afterwards. That would have changed the election. There's certain things that we need out now, meaning that foreign adversaries are infiltrating our systems, our electronic systems, and people like Antifa or anyone else is putting fake ballots into the system. And so those are things I'm telling people, please go. You can go to my website. It's on the screen there. There are numbers to call and what they need to ask for.
So good, Tina. So good. And it's so good to see you. My heart is so warmed. I can't wait to do a deeper dive exclusive with you. We have a lot to talk about and reconnect on. And by the way, she's an amazing jet skier. She's so fun. And Ron, let's get you unmuted. So Ron, you are boots on the ground right now in Shasta. There are teams showing up right now to make sure that ROV is protected from anything from Antifa, any powers that be that would try to destroy that, any of those ballots that are under lockdown right now with the threat of Antifa. And again, for those listening right now, Antifa is a terrorist organization. Okay. And they're threatening to burn down Shasta County Register of Voters. Okay. Where those ballots are under lock and key, and that key destroyed and thrown out into the powers that be. Come in. The DOJ and President Trump are waiting for you guys. Come on in, secure those ballots and verify them and make sure they are not counterfeit. Now, Ron, we're looking at all kinds of evidence, people breaking into the ballot room. We're looking at more ballots given out than people. You were boots in the ground. You experienced the paper, the feel, the smell. You saw the patterns, the ballots entering into the tabulator. Yes, we saw that. Those of us that watched Shasta and that maybe did some verification of those ballots, but you actually held them. Give me and the public right now your view on what you experienced in that process. Ron, can you hear me okay?
No, what was that question one more time? I'm sorry.
Okay, no worries. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. So Ron, you're boots on the ground. You're in Shasta.
Right.
You work with the Shasta County Register of Voters clerk,
right.
Clint Curtis. You know the whole process. You know that ballot room had been broken into, or at least they weren't using the proper procedure to go into that room to know who actually went in there. There's footage of that, which is now being taken out of Clint Curtis's hands, that he can't access any of that footage, which is proof of a lot of the corruption. So you also saw the ballots with your own eyes. You felt the paper. You were one of those people to sign the affidavit. So give me your lowdown. What did you see and experience that we need to know about?
I'm moving my location. It's a little bit loud. Anyway, yes, very definitely. We handled hundreds, maybe thousands of ballots. The ballots were remarkable in the fact that some of them were, it looked to me to be copied. There's no way that anyone could have filled in the designation boxes with a pen, because it was absolutely perfectly filled out right to the very edge of the box. And this happened over and over and over. It was really extraordinary, because it seemed as though you could see the outline of the box, and the inside of the box was just a lighter gray color that was absolutely perfect inside that box. And no one can create that. So it had to be either printed or on a touch writer or something like that. So there were other things too. The feel of the paper was a little different on some of them. That wasn't as pronounced to me as the colored in boxes, but it was really interesting. And there was lots of them, and other people who were handling them. We talked about that, and we also went to Mr. Curtis and told him what we were seeing, and he said, just keep going. And so we did. We just kept working, and now they need to be verified. They need to be analyzed, and to see if there are something wrong with them, because I believe in my heart of hearts that there's definitely something wrong with those ballots.
Isn't that interesting? Well, I'll tell you what, take our California back teams who were, shouting from the rooftops, brought in the governor and state candidates to Shasta. We did that walkthrough. We showed them the system that was to be utilized, that Clint, that you all were utilizing, verifying those ballots, right? Giving access to we the people. That was huge. Now, our teams on the back end went through, because it's public information, right? And the fact that Shasta County was leading the charge in election transparency was huge. So what you saw were some of the things that we saw from a video perspective. So Clint, I'm going to pop back over to you, and then Tina, we're going to pop to you. Clint, I want you to tell me real quick. Let's go back. You made a comment. You said the smell of the ink, the feel of the paper. For those people who are like, what the heck does that even mean? I just go fill out my ballot. So they send me my ballot. I go fill in the circles, and that's it. Like, what does that really mean to everybody? Help them to understand the distinction.
I don't think what we have there are real ballots. I think they were reproduced somewhere or something. It's not like they would have got them in the mail and fill them out, because those ballots all feel pretty much the same, right? Like, they're supposed to be exactly the same. You shouldn't be able to find how someone voted by knowing what their paper is. But the ones, as we're going through them, we're hitting all of these, and lots of them where the paper is significantly thicker than the ballot paper, the regular ballot paper. I have a big nose, so I smell well. So, as I was going through some of them, I could actually smell kind of an inky smell on some of them that I didn't smell on the others. The coloration was a little different in the topper. We had a little pink thing with purple mountains. I didn't pick it, but anyway, it was off a little. The tone was off. So there's a lot of variations that should never exist in actual ballots. Actual ballots should never be that way. And since it never occurred in the ones that voted at the polls, and that would have been a mixture of people, coming in with various things, but people actually coming in, they all seem to occur when we were doing the mail-in and drop box voting. And that's where they all showed up. So, and then I've had some people come forward, some whistleblowers coming forward now, starting to talk to us. So we'll see how that goes. And they were talking about how they were bringing boxes. They saw people bring boxes of ballots and just stuffing them into the drop boxes. So And in California, that's legal, believe it or not. It's called ballot harvesting, but you can actually do that. Now, what you don't know when they're stuffing in there is, are they real ballots? Or are they fake ballots?
Right.
So, so it's another flaw that California shouldn't have and hopefully can be addressed.
Oh,
So there's a
Lord.
lot of it. And so it
A
was
lot
really
of it.
obvious. A lot of it. It's not like one or two.
Yeah.
Every batch we had, you were hitting them all the time. It's like, that's weird, that's odd, this is
Yeah.
funny. And it's like, so it kind of stood out.
Yeah. And
So-
Clint, that wasn't just, here's the thing. You had a whole team boots on the ground there doing their job, securing the election, securing those ballots. So you've got affidavits across there. You've got affidavits from the Take Our California Back team that those are just citizens that are like, hey, I am going to audit all of those ballots because we can. It's public information, right? And they could actually do those audits, like in that moment as those ballots came in. That was a pretty big deal. So clearly we're dealing with what appears to be counterfeit ballots. And let's say people that are coming in to destroy evidence, people breaking into rooms. I mean, you've got more ballots than people being sent out. There's something quite wrong with that. Tina Peters. Tina, there is a plan in place. Oh, let's get you unmuted. I was picking up some typing in the background. So, Tina, there is a plan that has been implemented by President Trump. Why don't you walk us through that? Why don't you tell us what you see is possible for America? Because there's so many people right now, Tina, that are saying, hey, listen, just like Clint said earlier, there's not much we can do. I mean, look, November is coming up, or we're all going to vote, but why the heck, number one, would we move forward when we can clearly see that we're dealing with election fraud, voter fraud across the entire state? Shasta is like the beacon right now that's actually shouting it from the rooftops. What is the plan, Tina?
Well, so they're working on the plan. They were meeting yesterday, and I knew they were in meetings yesterday to talk about that. And of course, Ed Martin is now Trump's attorney and in charge of the elections. And then, of course, we had AG, DHS, everyone. But here's the thing: he hasn't put out the plan yet. We are still making input and suggestions into the plan. If you could play that video I just sent you, that I can start off with that and explain why we need the plan.
Okay, I love that. So let's do this. I just
You can
forwarded
play
that.
and then that'll set me up for what I'm going to talk about, what we can do
All
about
right.
it. And Clint, what I would do is all those affidavits, you can send them to me. I can send them straight to Harmeet, or you can send them to Harmeet. But those voters are being disenfranchised. So, meaning the voters who voted, legitimately, by the votes that are illegitimate. So, as you know, it waters down their vote and dilutes their vote by fraudulent votes going in. So that is a civil rights problem that I think Harmeet would jump on, especially right now. She's really eager to do some things. And, I had lunch with her when I was in DC and got to know her heart a little bit. And so if you want to send them to me, or if you want to send them straight to her, I'd be happy to kind of run that by her as well. So
I will do so.
Excellent.
But if it's happening in Shasta, it's happening everywhere.
Absolutely, it is. But you have
proof
proof
in their basement,
right? But you have proof of it, which shows that if there are fraudulent ballots, that there are, that other voters are being disenfranchised. So that does fall under the civil rights division of the DHS. So, yeah.
Tina,
See that?
No, so I can't get it from my phone over. It's too big of a file.
Well,
So
let
do
me
you
see if
wanna
I can
share
put
your
it in the
screen?
chat.
Yeah. If you want.
Well, I could.
Yeah. And so there's a share screen.
Yeah, I know how to do it. I've got two screens up, so I'm trying to see how I would. Hang on,
And then
just
put it in the chat anyway. Put it in the chat nonetheless, because
all right.
maybe
I will.
I can pull it up and you and I will race to getting it up.
Okay.
So important. So important.
All right.
So while we're working on that, Ron, why don't you give us a lowdown? We've got Patrick, who is going to be with us today, but he just took on a position to make sure that that ROV in Shasta is secured from a possible attack from Antifa, that those ballots are secured. So he's out there right now. What else is going on in that area right now so that we're present to that?
Well, I haven't seen Patrick yet, but I know he's on his way. So the office is business as usual. And one of my jobs is to kind of watch out for security as well. And
Right.
so we are just carrying on, and we're making sure that the ballots are safely not tampered with. And you know, the lock that Mr. Curtis put on is secure, and the ballots are safely inside that room. So at this point, we're just watching out for any unusual behavior, and we don't see any right now. So we're happy about that.
Okay, that's good news. That's really good news. A little bit of background, Tina, while you're working on that, I'm going to share some information that are, for those of you that have been following us with Take Our California Back in the movement, and more recently with Raji Rab, the governor, Democrat, believe it or not, governor candidate, who said, hey, something's wrong with this 2026 primary. The numbers are not adding up on my end. He's actually fought for election transparency a few times. So the Secretary of State knows him well. Well, this is interesting. I don't think, Clint Curtis, you expected to get an email from the Secretary of State saying, we are going to do a statewide recount. Raji Rab, governor candidate, has requested that. You were a little bit shocked, and you reached out and said, hey, start here in Shasta. We'd love for you guys to come here, do a recount of the ballots, right? And so you and Raji connected, and you let Raji know that the information of what could be this information you shared today, possible counterfeit ballots, have been passed over to Bill Saley. And Raji was a little bit surprised. He was like, are you kidding me? We're going to do a recount. Well, how? I want to start in Shasta, but how? Why would I recount what could be counterfeit ballots? That's not going to give me a real number. You asked him, right. You said, hey, take 15 days. See if the SOS, the Secretary of State, will give you 15 days extension so that we can get these ballots verified. That's important. The people deserve that. Shasta County deserves that. You deserve that. If we're going to do a real recount, let's not let's not count counterfeit ballots. So SOS says, no way, Jose. They give him 1 day in Shasta to go pay that $9,000 to go do that recount. He says, hold on a second. Ridiculous. I'm not going to count counterfeit ballots. SOS shuts it down, completely shuts down Shasta. But you can go to the other 57 counties. You can do your recount there. Go to pay $2.5 million at this count, right? And he's just like, hold on. Why are you steering me away from the elephant in the room at Shasta County? And she basically at this point shuts down the entire recount. He's left no other choice but to file an emergency temporary restraining order. He did. He even let them know, you leave me no other choice. I've exhausted all options. And do you know what happens, Clint? And I know you know what happens, Clint. Tina, Ron absolutely nuts, because 8 days go by, not a word from the Secretary of State. Crickets. Emergency TRO, right? So fast forward, he says, okay, I'm going to the Ninth Circuit. He appeals at the Ninth Circuit. It's sitting in the Ninth Circuit right now. So that's where we stand. But I'd like to say all roads lead to Shasta. Okay. Tina, were you able to? Oh, Tina's so good. Let's pull it up. Nicely done, Tina Peters.
All right. Let's see if you can play it.
Okay.
See, hang on.
I think you have to, yeah.
Hang on. Let me get back. Can you hear it?
That are foreign adversaries,
Yes.
not our allies. Foreign adversaries have parts that are vital pieces in our voting machines. We know that they can access what they consider the key to the back of these machines. We know that they can change voter registration and your vote. We know it's possible. There's not a question. It's not even for debate. One thing that I love about numbers and I love about facts is they don't lie. This isn't something that I'm trying to tell you to spin a narrative. This is what is going on. And what we are saying is that every state should partner with us to work to secure this. Once we identify the problem, everybody should be informed. Working with Secretary Lutnick, we are going to make our security enhancements mandatory, meaning that if these states want a grant and they want to be reimbursed to work or to run federal elections, programs, we have a they're going to have to implement security issues.
Okay, so let me take it off here now. Stop sharing. Yeah.
Got it. You're good.
So here's the important thing about that is it's not if, it's not when, it's that they are doing it. I just was working with the AG's office to secure some machines that were held by Pro V&V that belong to Fulton County, Pennsylvania. They had given the county of Fulton County, is about 5,000 people, an ultimatum, and we were running out. It was the last day. They were going to destroy the machines, and they were going to fine the county $1 million. Well, a county as small as Shasta County, Fulton County, small, they can't afford fines like that, and they knew it. It was an intimidation tactic. So the administration was able to get in there and partner to preserve those machines, which do show that, according to the Specken report, and that's on my website, that there was foreign interference. There was interference. There was IP addresses coming in during the election from another country. So what I'm saying with Clint and Shasta County, I mean, you've got the goods, you have the proof. And so now, and you're doing all the right things, you do have the attention of the Attorney General's office. So right now what we're doing is, and this is what I'm focused on, and I'll see if I can share my screen with that. Let's see. Okay, stop screen and then present screen.
You're doing great. Thanks for pulling that video up for us.
You bet. Go ahead. I'm going to see if I can.
Okay. Well, I love the fact that, here's the deal. This has received national attention. And I love the fact that, God's timing is so perfect. I believe that all the work we did in the back end, if we look at 2020, since 2020, all the work that the warriors have taken on for election transparency, everything is set up for this time. It's not just the exposure. We had exposure in 2020, 2021, 22, 23, 24, 25. We had the exposure, but there was a cognitive dissonance. The people weren't ready. The people, their eyes are opened. We have so much evidence. And when President Trump comes out and says, national security concern, China is involved in our elections. We know Maduro is singing like a canary. We know that Iran, China, Russia. Is Russia involved in our elections as well? It's all coming out. And the fact, Clint, and Ron and Tina, that eyes are on Shasta right now gives hope to America. I really believe it gives hope. So this whole system needs to be shifted. So if we can, number one, secure what we have. And honestly, yes, we're waiting for the DOJ. Yes, we're waiting for President Trump. Asaley, the FBI already came in, took a look, and the FBI that came in, Clint, tell me, there were 4 FBI agents that came in. 2 of them were representing the Secretary of State, correct? And were 2 of them from Sacramento?
No, the FBI came in, they weren't representing the Secretary of State. 2 from the Secretary of State came in, but then we had 2 come in from LA, and then we had either 2 or 4, I'm not sure, because I'm getting multiple things. I didn't actually talk to either one of those, came in from Sacramento. So they're there, they're paying attention. I just would like them to get those ballots out of my room before there's a problem.
Yes.
And there's a 2024 ballots are in there as well that will get destroyed on September 11th, because that's their shred date.
Wow.
There may be the same exact issue with those ballots as with the ballots we have, because that was a very strange election before I was there. But I'm told that over half the ballots did not go through the machines, and they had to be in secret for some reason, not in the public, duplicated onto new paper, new ballots before they would go through the machines. And the excuse has been it was an overspray. But you look at the ballots and there is no overspray. There's nothing. So either you have a worse problem of that the machine is seeing something that the human eye can't, which allows programmers to put any sort of instructions that you want in there, or maybe they did a worse job of counterfeiting the ballots, and that's why they wouldn't go through. If you get your alignment marks off, it won't go through. And so they had to redo them. So they may have actually taken counterfeit ballots and put them on real ballots to move the numbers. So you got a lot of problems with those as well. But once they get, I mean, they're in the same room, so just come and get them all. We're good to go.
Yeah, that's incredible. All right, so good that the FBI has been there. We need the DOJ. This is a national security concern, right? So one, these ballots need to be protected. We cannot let them be moved, recounted, or destroyed in any way. We're demanding, we are requesting, we're calling out for the Department of Justice, President Trump's teams to take physical custody for forensic verification. That's what we're doing. Tina, and one more thing that's key. Shasta, Redding, this is your home. This is your home. Show up at that Register of Voters office. Show up. And, we had some amazing meetings yesterday, and the people in Shasta are warriors. They are activated. They know that they've got to protect that ROV office. So guys, show up, set your schedule, get there, and you put a stake in the ground and say, we're going to protect this until President Trump, the DOJ, comes in and takes those ballots for verification. We will not let Antifa burn anything down. Tina, I'm going to pass it back to you. Give us the lowdown.
Okay, so if you want to share my screen here, let's see.
Got it?
Do that? Okay. All right. So this is what we're asking the administration, and you're going to be seeing, a lot of social media around this. And so if people will continue to share and speak out about it, we're asking the administration to, and you can see there's 70 days until the November 3rd federal election, but it's even shorter with all the other, a ballot ballots going out to Yokava and so on and so forth. So this is really important. Within 48 hours, we're asking for a public risk declaration. And so, we're asking that they will publish a short unclassified advisory with the national security. And I apologize for part of that being kind of clipped off. So I can't do anything.
Okay, you're doing great. You're doing great.
Okay, within 48 hours, we're asking for a DHS to Commerce referral. So I have met with, like I said, the Commerce Secretary. He has once we showed him that video when we were meeting with him. He said, he was like, he's like texting Mark Wayne Mullen, like, where is this? So somehow, it got somebody, there's bad guys still in the administration that want to slow walk and prevent things, as we all know. So sometimes, you have to go through different routes to make sure. And we, the people, are the routes that actually are the most effective. So we were able to show him this video and say that Mark Wayne Mullen said this. And he's like going, well, I'm going to text Mark Wayne Mullen right now. So this is what we want. We want the Mark Wayne Mullen and DHS to do a commerce referral and talk about that there's classified, unclassified election system, supply chain, firmware. All of this is under the jurisdiction of the Commerce Department. They can say, we're cutting this off because this is, we have the authority to do so, I guess is what I want to say. And then within 72 hours, we're asking for a national triage. We're asking for them to reach out to the states and say, okay, what is your plan to do a voting method with paper capability? You need to prepare to do something else besides the electronics. I'm putting it in my words, because we're going to show you that we cannot use the electronics anymore. We cannot use the ballot marking devices and e-poll books and ballot. I've been on so many things lately.
You're doing great.
The tabulators. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yes,
so
yes.
Things happening at one time. I'm getting ding, ding, dinged over here. And then DHS has already said that they will fund $1 billion. There's $1 billion in the federal government for these states to be able to comply. So they don't have any excuses. And then to complete mock counts and just get ready, just get everybody ready. So here's what we're asking for: immediate security floor, use trustworthy paper evidence. That's what, that's one of the things that we talked about when we were in DC, me and Will Huff and Colonel Conrad Reynolds and Peter Berniger. We were asking for, and there's other people involved too, Clay Parikh, and we were saying, okay, if for some reason it's somehow impossible, which I don't ever believe anything's impossible. Everything's possible with God. I'm a woman of faith, and I've worked deadlines all my life. I mean, in the building business, you got deadlines. You've got budget deadlines in the clerk's office. Clint, you know that. You've got all kinds of deadlines. So there's not a deadline problem. There's an action problem. And so we're going to work right up until the 0 hour. But let's just say, we've worked all the way up to the 0 hour. There's still tabulation machines. There's still some of these electronic stuff. Well, okay, so we could run them through. Then we're going to have a hand count. Well, the hand count is going to take place until we get it done. So that's the federal government, in my opinion, can say for all federal races, and they might as well do it for all of them, we want voter verified paper records before you certify your count. We want to know. Okay. So that's, putting the feet to the fire. So, and that's what it means by independently verify electronic results before certification.
Yes.
Maintain a paper continuity record for voter check-in. That'd be like your paper poll books. Reduce remote network attack paths. Preserve logs and evidence, and escalate suspected compromise immediately. So the legal posture that and all this is being put, this updated one is being put on my website right now.
Beautiful. So
people can go there, tinapeters.us. There's important legal postures. CISA So we met with CISA when I was in DC, one of the visits. They can assess, advise, coordinate, train, and provide technical assistance. So they can do that. They can't enforce, but I know, and you know, Clint, as being a clerk, that they do make advisories, they do make recommendations, they do advise, right? And one of the first things I did, we met with them, and that was one of the things that we asked. FEMA can administer grant conditions and eligible projects within lawful authority. EAC. So when I had lunch with the president, and I said, first thing I said to him, I was very bold, and it was a small room. It's his private dining room right off the Oval Office that seats like 4 people at the table. You can fit 6 in there. You know, it's a small table though. And I said to him, I said, Mr. President, if we don't get rid of these voting machines, these electronic machines, we're going to lose this next election. And I was serious about it. And he said, well, what should I do? I said, one of the things you can do is to fire the EAC. So He looks at and he did. 9 days later, you see.
Come on, Tina Peters.
So he fired the EAC. Well, what that means is the EAC is normally made up of 4 members, 2 Democrats, 2 Republicans. They're put forth kind of like we do election judges, Clint, where each party will say, we want these people and we want these people, right? And then the president decides, and then there's Senate confirmation. So obviously it's not enough time to do that, but there are people that are working still in the EAC, but there's no commissioners. So I had asked that they appoint, so President Trump said, okay, we'll fire them. He did. He said, and appoint her.
He said, you're fired. And he said, Tina, you're hired.
So, there's a lot more to it, but he is a man of action, and yes. I trust him. So that's what we've been working towards. The EAC has federal voting system standards certification roles. If we had gotten rid of those EAC members a long time ago and put in good ones, because there were 2 Democrats and 1 Republican. The other one had quit a long time ago. And when he fired the 2 Democrats, he gave the Republican a chance to resign. But they're the ones that can declare the decertification of the machines. Right there. I see Clint shaking his head yes, so he knows. So the states and localities administer elections under state and federal law. So they have standards. They have, for people that don't know, there's standards that they must follow. Well, what's going on, and this was a big argument with the Mesa County reports 1, 2, and 3, is that these machines could not ever be certified. None of the machines can be certified because they don't follow the guidelines, the VSS 2002 VSS federal guidelines, and that's what the states go by. And many of the states actually have those written into their election laws. The plan therefore combines federal risk standards and funding with rapid state local implementation, rather than assuming CISA will laterally rewrite state election law, which they're not. Why action is required now? The federal government already has the technical predicate. They already have about the penetration testing, all of this. CISA reports persistent patching constraints. These machines were, when I took office, we were running Windows 7. Finally, before I let Clint.
We're at Windows 10 now, right? Is that right, Clint?
No. Well, then they finally, Clint, tell them about why having machines that run outdated software, why that's a problem. And I'll stop here.
Outdated software has already been penetrated by half the world. So if you have any software that's out there for very long, someone's going to be hacking into it, because that is the game. And so it's not only got to be run, it's got to be patched. And most of the election equipment is never patched because it comes out as a build, which means if you get a little thumb drive with your trusted build, that's what you're going to load on. And it's never patched because you're using the same thing. Every time you do a patch, you would have to do a rebuild and you'd have to recertify. So it never happens. So most of the election equipment is completely out of date and open to anybody with any geek like me, right? Come in and have fun.
That's right.
And it's worse if you look at 2015, way back to then. If you look at what was that? I can't remember the name of the magazine now, but they actually had found a little piece of looked like rice, like a heat sink, that they'd actually loaded on motherboards, which were everywhere, CIA, every place else, and they were full-fledged computers. These little pieces of rice on the motherboard, they looked like heat sink, and they had communication protocols. They were root available, so they can go down to the very baseline of the computer. You're not keeping people out, and that was 10 years ago. So by now, that little piece of rice is microscopic. And if it wasn't for Amazon trying to buy that company, it would have never got caught. The bean counter saw this thing and it wasn't in the specs, and they're going, why is that in there? Do we have to pay for that? And that's what caught them. Nothing else did. It was in DOD, it was in CIA, it was everywhere. So
that's right.
Can you really imagine the counties could keep anybody out? It's not possible.
So the yeah.
Do you want me to pull that back up, Tina?
Sure. Yeah. And Clint, feel free to step in, or either of you during any of this time. One thing I will say.
And let me add this in real quick, Tina. Ron, I'm going to watch your feedback on this. Your boots on the ground. Is this going to be helpful in Shasta? Hold that thought, Tina. Back to you.
So with the EAC, interestingly enough, the people that were in there, Hicks, if you saw the movie Kill Chain that the Democrats put out about the hacking, that they agreed that the machines could be hacked. In that movie, Hicks is in there a lot as the EAC commissioner. So the two Democrat EAC commissioners were in there, appointed by Obama in 2015, and they're only supposed to serve 2 4-year terms. So it was way overdue to clean house there. So I just wanted to, and nobody thought to look. It took somebody like us going in there and saying, hey, did you guys notice this? The federal government needs us. They need every single person. But when you contact the White House and when you call them, please don't go on and on and on and on, because they do answer those phones.
Right.
Be succinct, say your ask, don't criticize, don't demand, just say, okay, we need to get rid of the machines. We need to, and it says on my website what to say. But please be respectful. Don't take up their time where someone else can't get through. We had a situation where I was in Texas, and I called for everybody to call the White House and to call these numbers, and the reports back were, well, they don't work. Well, the reason they didn't work is because there were so many people calling. And so if you get something like that where you think it doesn't work, the numbers are correct, just keep calling back.
Okay. And all of this can be found at tinapeters.us, correct?
Yes.
Okay,
It's
fantastic. And Tina, should there be a request as well to stop mail-in ballots?
Absolutely, there should be. And mail-in ballots, we're going to show, especially with what Clint has, they're unconstitutional, because what they're doing is they are, like I said before, they're defrauding the other legitimate voters from casting a vote that the Constitution declares is their right, and to have their not just cast, but to be counted. So what that's doing is, by having mail-in ballots, and showing what you're going to be showing, Clint, with those ballots there and other places, is that it is disenfranchising other voters. And so the air gap assumptions, there is no air gap, Clint. We know there's no air gap. but that's
Tell
what
us
they
what that means in layman terms, Tina. What does that mean?
What-
There's no air gap.
Go ahead, Clint.
An air gap was an old philosophy that as long as the computer wasn't connected to a network, a wire, then it couldn't connect. But anybody with a cell phone probably understands that air gaps don't exist anymore and haven't since cell phones, because if you look real close, there's no cord going to that anymore. And way back when we first started programming, you didn't even need networking. You just plugged it in the wall, and we used the wall wiring. And you can still get those today. So it was always a lie, but it fooled a few people.
It did. Well, I believed it. So, until I didn't.
Right, right.
You're not a geek, huh?
Yeah, that's right. So, so the consequences include election artifacts. It says that, we need to, I mean, I'll let you guys read some of this, but the paper manual verifications, our system recommendations. I'm not going to read each thing here, but the risk findings should be made public. Private federal assessment cannot create the same operational urgency in a decentralized election system. So all these people need to need a common factual baseline before the remaining implementation window closes. So we need the public acknowledgement that gives the state notice, basically, to make emergency procedural and funding decisions now. We need that now. We need a clear federal baseline that lets the public distinguish a risk mitigation response from an allegation. We already have that. We need these reports done. So when people call the White House, they can say, we want a finding, a public finding. And that's what we want. So DHS and CISA have determined that documented vulnerabilities in electronic election software and network environments combined with demonstrated foreign adversary cyber capabilities create a material risk to election infrastructure. This finding does not mean that every voting system is compromised or that a past U.S. election result was electronically altered. It means that compensating controls are required now, so that any electronic compromise cannot silently determine a certified federal election outcome. So we need them to put a finding. That's what the ask is. We need the CIA assessment. We know about all this. We know about Venezuela. We know about anybody that doesn't know about it needs to know about it. I won't say they've been living under a rock. Just some people have lives and they haven't been as involved as they should have been, because our country is getting ready to be taken from us, and it's going to happen. It's going to happen in November if people don't get off the couch and put down and I know I'm preaching to the choir, but we need to tell the other people to do that.
That's right, Tina.
Get off the couch. This is your family. This is your grandkids. So, we know that the facts, that the information that was released, we know that all these election infrastructure risks with China. I mean, we already know that. It says that China or its proxies bought, stole, or hacked voter registration data with as many as 220 million Americans, and so on and so forth. So we already know these things, but we need them to do a report, put it out there, and then take action. Then we have independent scientific support. So when we met with CISA, then each one of these people, J. Alex Halderman, Andrew Appel, and Philip Stark, all which have PhDs, they wrote letters specific to this situation. And those letters can be seen on the website now.
TinaPeters.us.
.us. So authority to act now. It does not need to invent new election security bureaucracy. Existing statutes, executive directors, critical infrastructure authorities, grant programs, commerce, all this stuff, they're already in place. So these are this is the authority that they have. This is the executive order, the law, the 6 USC 652. All of this is this was the grant, the $1 billion grant that is available to the states. So there's already, and this shows each person, each department, DHS and CISA, all these how they can be involved. And I don't see the, oh, here's commerce. Okay, there it is. And what the commerce can do. So executive order, and then it gives the, all the authority that it has, what it supports. I mean, this is what we're giving to Washington right now.
Beautiful. Just
okay.
Beautiful.
So all of this, and here's the 14-day federal action roadmap. We need Secretary Mullen and CISA within the next 48 hours to do this, issue the National Risk Declaration, so on and so forth. And we need the DHS and Commerce Secretary to do this.
And Tina, when have they already received this, or is this underway right now and you are just about to expedite?
This is breaking news right now. And
this is amazing. This is what we want, guys. A plan, a real, solid, well-studied, well-documented, proven plan. Clint and Ron, let's start with you. Do you see possibility if this plan were to be implemented?
Oh, this is a godsend. Thank you, Tina, so much for all of your work and all that you've gone through. To me, the key is we don't give up. We absolutely keep our shoulder to the wheel and never stop. And it's like you mentioned, call the White House, keep it short, keep it sweet, keep it businesslike, and yet declare the emergency. And this absolutely could help tremendously. And I think that's just what needs to happen. Is there needs to be a plan, which this is a plan, and would love to see it here in California. Thank you.
Amazing.
I would say everybody go back and read this before you make any phone calls. Okay. So we want trustworthy paper evidence, right? You can see what happens in Shasta County when that doesn't happen.
That's right.
We want to reconcile the physical election before trusting the totals. So that's, before they just rubber stamp these. And I know there's a gentleman in Arizona right now that may go to prison because he refused to certify the election. So I'm fighting for that as well. But
wow.
So reconcile the physical election before trusting the totals. That means hand count, paper hand counts, and all the strict chain of custody and all that, the batch identification, seals, logs, all that. Independent manual verification before certification. So all of this, it's very well broken down. If people will just go and take the time to read this and understand before they call the White House, and ask them to go on my website and to read this mitigation plan. It's very simple. I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think it's very simple?
Well, I think the more, and Clint, I'm going to come to you on that question, but the more, like, I'm the layman, right? I am just like everybody else out there. I've only learned about elections in 2020 when my vote was stolen. When they told me and my husband and the couple before us, we had already voted. That was my journey. Your movie, right? Selection code began to open my eyes. And then working on, canvassing the counties, exposing the fraud, the dead people voting, the people voting from other states that didn't even know they were voting, and now the illegal immigrants voting. So now I'm more aware, but I love the fact that this is pretty simple. I think people understand the problems now. And there's 17 different ways that the elections can be compromised. So this is a way to give the power back to the people. So I think this is imperative that we all go to this. And I say, pull a Zoom, gather your teams together, go through it together, understand it together. There's going to be people that are like, well, what is that? I mean, what is the EAS? What's their responsibility? How do we implement this mitigation locally? It's going to be important that we also stay connected to Tina Peters and everything that's happening in Shasta County, because we're seeing this in real time, the real issues, the real problem in real time. So Clint, what's going to happen when we implement this?
Well, this looks good. I would do two things though, because you know how slow counties go, especially if they want to drag their feet. So what we did in Shasta with the cameras over the machines, if you can't get rid of the machines by November, make sure they record them before it touches the machine. Eventually, you don't want to have to do that. Eventually, you want to go get rid of the machines altogether. But that way,
Clint,
they can't say, oh, we can't do it.
Yes, that's a game changer. We would not be where we are right now had you not installed that system. That gave power back to the people, 100%.
It's dirt cheap. I did the whole county, Shasta County, for $6,000.
That's crazy.
And that's everything. And that's a $4 million budget. The other thing that I see it missing so far is to go to a hand count, you have to have people to do the hand count. And what we rolled out in Germany in 2006 is basically, it's just a draft, just like the jury duty. And you bring them in, you let them count elections, and that's their job. And if we put that in there, we don't have to go with the whole complaint about, well, you'll never get enough people.
I put that.
You won't get enough people volunteering, right?
I put that through to DC, and they said it won't work because it you have to pass a law to do that, and you know, so that would have to happen first. But you're absolutely right. I don't even care how everybody has their own method of hand counting at this point. Right. I don't care if you stand on your head and you count them with your tongue. I don't even care. Just get them hand counted and get it and under camera and do like what under camera. But the important part about this is that they can't federally be certified until that hand count takes place.
Beautiful.
Now, France does it in a day? I mean, we used to do it in a day. I remember when we had results. If we didn't
100%, it can be done.
Yeah.
Germany does it in a day. It's 65 million people.
There you go.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
Well, this is huge. This is huge. Thank you, President Trump, for pardoning Tina Peters. Thank you, the state of Colorado, for releasing Tina Peters. Tina, thank you. Yeah, America is back. Signed by President Trump.
Signed by Trump. I have the pen here somewhere. Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love it. That pen's worth a lot. I love it. It's so incredible. America is back, and do you know why? Trump came to give power back to us, we the people. And we the people are taking that power back. We're not sitting back anymore. We're standing up. We're showing up. We're speaking up. We're fighting the good fight. This is what we're called to do. So Tina Peters, you are an absolute blessing. And of course, Clint, I praise you from the mountaintops, Clint, for all that you've done. So Tina, does Shasta get to have you on board in Shasta County in support of the Registrar of Voters, or are you going to take on that position?
Well, I'm not going to say this until I talk to Clint, but here's the thing. It may be a silent partnership because I do not want to bring more, and I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of Antifa or anybody else. That's not the thing. But at the same time,
that's why I chose you, because you're not afraid.
Right? Let me just tell you that no matter what, I'm here to help. But yes, I can't say. I can't say. I'm going to talk to Clint this coming weekend, and we'll iron out some things. But okay. Kim, you'll be the first to know.
Okay. I love it. And we'll announce it for sure. Well, I just want to say to the two of you, you are warriors. You guys are leading the country and really the world right now. The world is looking to you. Both of you have undergone incredible adversity. Tina, you were imprisoned. And nobody gets that until you're there. And so we're going to do an exclusive with you, Tina. That way, I know that God used you powerfully in that journey. And I want people to understand that what Satan throws at you, God will turn and use for your good. Here she is. She is forged. She's the diamond. She was already a diamond before, but boy, are you the diamond, Tina. So I'm just really honored to have you guys here today. And if we were to give a final call to action, final words today to our listeners, to California, to Shasta, to Riverside, to America right now. Clint, let's start with you, and then we'll finish that with Tina. Clint?
All I need is for them to come grab these ballots and look them over. And they're all bag tagged and got a bow on them for you. So you're not going to get this much assistance in actually pulling these ballots from anybody else. So now's the time to come and get them and get this done. We don't have a lot of time left.
Come on, DOJ, President Trump, let's go. Come on.
So they need, so this is the ask then, if I may, Clint. This is the ask. Everyone that hears this, call the White House or the Attorney General's office and ask to pick up the ballots in Shasta County.
Okay.
They do pay attention to those calls.
Oh my gosh, this is beautiful. All right, so that's going to be one of my first calls today. And for every listener right now, please take that on. I mean, you can go to Grok, you can go to ChatGPT, pull up that White House number, call the White House, call the Attorney General, and make that request every day until those ballots are locked, are taken and protected. Okay.
Or I get a phone call that says, please tell them to stop.
Yeah, exactly. And for those of you that are boots on the ground in Shasta, get down to the Register of Voters office. Be part of that protection to make sure that Antifa does not show up. There is militia in Reading. There are patriots in Reading. Show up. The time is now, right now. Tina Peters, your final words to our audience today and to the American people.
Thank you, Kim, for all you do, and Clint for standing your ground. This is what I would say to people. Take some time, take 15 minutes and go read this risk mitigation report. Understand so that when you make a phone call, you know the ask. You know that you're wanting them to do something, and it outlines it right in there what Secretary Lutnick can do, what DHS can do, who's Mullen, Secretary Mullen, what the AG can do, what Army Dillon and the Civil Rights Division can do. We've talked about it on this show. You know, there's voters that are being disenfranchised because of the fraudulent ballots, because of the machines. So I would say become informed, but don't become too informed. Here's the thing that I've seen, and it really, if you want to know what aggravates me, what keeps me up at night with frustration, is people that want more and more and more and more information. We have the information.
Paralysis analysis.
We have it. We know that these machines and these ballots are compromised. We don't need to know, every little nook and cranny about everything. We need to act. And the way we act is to show up if you're local to Shasta County to protect, and just show support, and to call, but be informed. Know enough that you can be informed of what your ask is. Your ask is to get rid of the machines. Your ask is to make sure there's only voter verified paper ballots that we count in each election, and to make sure and to end mail-in voting, because it's disenfranchising the people who do vote legally.
Well, y'all heard it today. Tina Peters, Clint Curtis, Ronald Plum. We missed Patrick, it's okay. He is shoring things up, protecting that register of voters. We'll have him on another time. Tina, thank you so much. We're so excited about this plan. Clint, thank you so much. Hang in there. Hang in there. President Trump, DOJ, Department of Justice, we know you're on your way. Go get those ballots. Go get them right now. And guys, I love you. God bless you. And everybody stand by. We're going to have a powerful closing. We're going to take a moment to thank our sponsors. And Tina, may God bless you and protect you on your journey. Clint, the same. And we are taking this country back because America is back. Thank you, Tina Peters. Bye-bye, Tina. Bye-bye, Clint. Guys, love you guys. We're going to have you again, Tina. We're going to do an exclusive. Thank you for sharing the breaking news today. Clint, thank you so much. And we'll be back in communication with you as well. All right, team, we're going to take a moment, thank our sponsors who have made today's show possible. So if you're like me and you're tired of supporting the woke agenda, you're tired of supporting the big box retailers, and you're tired of searching and finding products that maybe aren't doing what you want them to do, and you really want to support American made, then don't wait. Why don't you do exactly what we do here at the Take Your Power Back show in all of our communities? We made the switch to our Patriots Made resource. That's patriotsmade.com. Do you know Forbes magazine literally just looked at over 1 million brands? And out of those brands, the number 2 brand, our Patriot manufacturer that manufactures over 450 products that are better, safer, less expensive than the stores, and they give you real results, came out to be number 2. Number 2. Do you know who number 1 was? Are you curious? Costco. So that says a lot. Number 2, they are the best brand. So for me, for those of you who do not know, I've just suffered an accident here. And this is kind of, breaking news. There are people that know I have a couple of staples that are in my head right now. I've undergone a concussion. I've got a ripped, torn rotator cuff right now, bruised hip. These are things that my body has gone through. And this happened a week ago. I'm here with you today, fully present. If it were not for the tools in this toolbox, the nutrition with oligotechnology, the tools that have helped my body to heal, cuts, burns, abrasions, all of it, I would not be clear-minded. So I'm so grateful for this toolbox. Guys, go check it out today. Go to patriotsmade.com/Kim. That's patriotsmade.com/Kim. Go make the switch today. Take your power back from the big box retailers and switch to American made. Our team of wellness experts will personally reach back and tailor your shopping according to your wellness needs. Go check it out, patriotsmade.com/Kim. Watch the video all the way to the end, and we're going to reach back to you. Now, on the piggyback of patriotsmade.com, we have our never ever hormoned or antibiotic black label beef. What? Well, you heard what's happening to the beef industry. It is nuts what's happening right now. And then meat that you don't even know is real meat. Are you kidding me? Is that for real? Yes, that's for real. And that's why today you can get beef from local ranchers. These are ranchers here in the United States that have worked diligently. This is the only company that has vertical integration. So no hormones in that beef, no antibiotics in that beef, and never ever mRNA. And let me tell you, 28 days aged, prime select. You've heard me say I've had beef at Mar-a-Lago. I've had beef at the highest level steakhouses. This is the best beef you will ever eat. Go to freedomsteaks.com/Kim. They have the tallow. They have your beef sticks, your beef jerky, your beef wheels. They've even got your real organic spices that now are my favorite spices and way less expensive than the stores. Shore yourself up. When things go down and aren't going the way we want them to go in this country right now, partner with a company that shares your values. patriotsmade.com/Kim and freedomsteaksnow.com/Kim. you deserve a delicious ribeye. That's for sure. Or maybe it's a filet mignon, whatever that might be. Go check them out. freedomsteaks.com/Kim. All right. We are going to close out today's show. And I just want to acknowledge a couple of people on the ground. First off, I want to acknowledge personally our Take Our California Back team. If you all haven't ventured into the Take Our California Back movement, you can find that at takeourcaliforniaback.com. Now, we gathered all of the governor and state candidates. I pulled them on my Take Your Power Back show platforms. We did the governor debates. We saw that they did not know all that they needed to know when it came to the elections. And we brought them to Shasta County. Shasta County gave them the breadth of what was possible in securing the ballots. You saw what we just did on the back end with our Take Our California Back team's local citizens. These are we the people who said, I can audit that ballot right then and there. Right now, as it's coming in, I can look at that ballot on camera. I can verify. I can count the ballots. That's exactly what we did. And then we found all kinds of irregularities and patterns. We turned that over to Shasta County Clint Curtis. And then boots on the ground, Clint Curtis, the locals, those that work in the ROV, pulled in all of their affidavits as well. They saw the irregularities. They smelt that ink. They saw that they appeared to be counterfeit, the feel of the paper. All that you're seeing needs to be verified. President Trump, DOJ, come on down, secure those ballots before Antifa gets there with their threat of burning down that building. They've already done all kinds of graffiti on that building. So I'm saying, President Trump, we need you now. Guys, you know that the key ingredient is for you to call that White House today. Call the Attorney General today. And then you want to go to Tina Peters' plan. You want to go to tinapeters.us. Well, not Tina Peters' plan, but the plan that they put together to be implemented across the nation. That is going to create workability and give the power back to the people. All right. So another acknowledgement I want to give is, let's go back to Take Our California Back. The teams that did all the work, endless hours going through all of the video footage. I want to say thank you. I know it wasn't easy. Thank you for working with me. Thank you for taking this on. Thank you for putting a stake in the ground and saying Shasta matters. All roads lead to Shasta. California matters. Thank you to Raji Rab, Democrat governor who saw the irregularities in the election, saw the numbers weren't panning, was pushed out of debates, who now is in the 9th Circuit, who said we need to start in Shasta County. And then the Secretary of State shut down that recount. Thank you, Raji Rab, for your fight. And thank you to all of you who have been working behind the scenes. So grateful. I shared, I pulled in Clint. I pulled in, Corinne Clifford, White House correspondent. I pulled Corinne into this, Arnie into this. I let the people know, guys, you've got to get to Shasta. This is where it is. This is where it's happening. This is what we've got to get out to the nation. So I want to say thank you to Corinne, who's been there, boots on the ground, and Arnie. They've been broadcasting from there, shedding the light there. Kudos to you guys. And Real America News, OAN. For those of you that are now getting the footage up, I challenge all listeners today to share this show. Get it out to the highest levels. And let's make sure that what Shasta is doing does not fall on dead ears. Let's ensure that it is spoken from the rooftops, that people see that we have the ability to take our power back. It's time. America is back. We are here and we're ready to take our power back. And with that close today, we're going to finish it off with a huge thank you to Clint Curtis, our warrior, our whistleblower, Ronald Plum and Patty Plum for their work in ensuring election transparency, to Tina Peters, who didn't just come out of prison and sit down eating bonbons, just chilling and said, I'm done. I've been persecuted. No, she's continued to stay in the fight. Thank you, Tina Peters. Thank you. And to President Trump, to the DOJ, to the FBI, we want to say thank you. And we implore you to stand in truth. 2 Chronicles 7:14. If we want to know where real truth comes from, this is the word of God. If my people, says the Lord, who are called by my name, will humble themselves, seek my face, turn from their wicked ways, I will hear their voice, forgive their sin, and heal their land. We need healing. We need healing in here, in here. We need healing in our homes. We need healings in our counties, our cities, our communities. We need healing in our states. We need healing in America and hence the world. It's time, America. It's time to take our power back. A big thank you to our 3 warriors. Now, to every patriot watching, the ballots in Shasta must be protected until the DOJ, President Trump's teams collect them for full verification. If the vulnerabilities exist in this small northern county, right, if they're existing here that take our California back highlighted, then they are happening everywhere. It's time. It's time. The time is now to take your power back. Share this episode. Call your officials. Show up. Find all of the work we've been doing at takeourcaliforniaback.com and stay abreast to all of our shows. Go back, look at the work we've done. Go look at the transparent elections. If you're a registrar of voters clerk, if you're a supervisor and you're saying, wow, the fact that Shasta can do this, you can too. We've worked closely with San Joaquin. We've worked closely with Kern County. Even, counties that are even further north, guys, are looking on taking on these systems. Take on these systems. They're very inexpensive to do. And then go to tinapeters.us and so that you too can learn what can be implemented in your county. So for all shows, go to takeyourpowerbackshow.com and find us on all platforms. You can find us on Rumble, on Facebook, on X, on Twitter. Well, that is X now, right? But you can also find us on iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and America together. We can take this country back. We can take our elections back. And California, we will take our California back. May God bless you. May God bless this country. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys on the other side. Stay abreast. We're going to stay abreast. We're going to bring you breaking news every single time. We feel like something needs to be brought to you when it comes to the elections or what's happening. We're going to bring it here. I love you. God bless you. We'll see you guys on the other side. Signing out. Bada boom.
Thank you for joining us for the Take Your Power Back show. As Peak Performance Breakthrough Coach Kim Yeater speaks to other freedom-loving Americans that are making a positive impact in the world by standing in truth amid adversity. Listen in weekly and learn how to take your power back in your freedom, in your personal and professional life, in technology and creativity, and in your faith. Be encouraged, be inspired, be transformed as you step into your power and take action in your leadership and allow your voice to be heard. Together, let's take your power back. To sponsor and support the Take Your Power Back show, go to takeyourpowerbackshow.com. That's takeyourpowerbackshow.com and take your power back.